All right, here we go. We are doing a presentation. 3 parts, maybe 4 is needed, but what is metabolism testing? We're going to talk about all things metabolism and AMPK versus mTOR and mitochondria. Let's get started by going over what is mitochondria biogenesis, creating new mitochondria. So, do you need to get new mitochondria? Do you need to get rid of the old ones? Keep note of these words we'll talk about in a next video on AMPK versus mTOR and understanding mechanism of action if you want to geek out. So, biogenesis is getting new mitochondria triggered by energetic stress as exercise, calorie restriction, or cold exposure, activated by key signals as AMPK and PGC1 alpha. Why does it matter? Well, we want more mitochondria, especially as we age, to improve energy, endurance, recovery, metabolic health, longevity. We want to get rid of the old ones to make more room for the new ones. So mitochondria, autophagy, is a selective removal of damaged or dysfunctional mitochondria via autophagy. So the damaged mitochondria, if we don't get rid of them, generate ROS, reactive oxygen species, and this can impair cellular function. So there's actually this pink one pathway that's activated to tag and remove these damaged mitochondria. So the body is amazing. Getting rid of the dead mitochondria, damaged, dysfunctional, this can be increased with fasting. And that's why fasting, I find, got to be so popular as a way to get rid of dysfunctional mitochondria cells. We can also do calorie restriction and exercise and cold exposure. So finding if you're fit and active, you don't need to as much fasting if you're exercising. So we're working on one way or the other to get rid of the dead, damaged, dysfunctional cells. Cleaning out the faulty mitochondria improves cellular efficiency, reduces inflammation, and allows room for new high-functioning mitochondria. Now, I said this in an interview the other day. I think of creating new biogenesis and getting rid of the damaged ones is similar to your closet. You can't buy new clothing unless you get rid of the old ones that are damaged. So we need to get rid of the old to bring in the new. All right, another definition, density. The density mitochondria. We can improve the number of mitochondria per cell or muscle fiber by endurance training or zone 2 training and HIIT training. This mitochondria density gives us increased energy production and fat oxidation specifically. Again, take note, the word AMPK, PGC1, and sirtuins are part of getting more mitochondria into our cells. Higher density of mitochondria leads to greater potential of energy production, ATP, improved endurance, metabolic flexibility, and resilience to fatigue. Now, mitochondrial capacity is the maximum ability of the mitochondria to produce ATP, oxidative phosphorylation, where we talk about that in other videos, to burn fat. Why does this matter? We want to be able to burn fat at higher intensities and help us recover faster. Mitochondrial efficiency is really what I want to dive into today. Less oxidative stress, better cellular management. AMPK and the relationship of AMPK to our mitochondria is because AMPK is activated when cellular energy is low. So fasting, exercise, calorie restriction. This now stimulates PGC1 alpha, leading to mitochondria biogenesis, enhancing glucose uptake, fatty acid oxidation, autophagy, including mitophagy. Triggered again, exercise, fasting, cold exposure, calorie restriction. So AMPK activation is central to improving mitochondrial health, enhancing metabolic flexibility, and promoting fat loss and endurance. Now, mTOR is what I've been diving into in the videos on muscle protein synthesis. And we'll get to in this video series on how we can improve our health by identifying what areas of opportunity do we have? What do we need to strengthen to get our body into homeostasis, to get it into functioning at optimal level? Do we need to stimulate the AMPK pathway or the mTOR pathway? We need both, but maybe one needs more than the other. When we do Pinoy metabolism testing, we can identify, do you need to improve your metabolism? Is your metabolism slower than it should be? And we identify this in the resting test. And how do you speed up your metabolism? Especially as you age, we need to do things differently. mTOR is needed to be activated by strength training, amino acid intake with that leucine threshold we talked about, and insulin. This is promoting muscle protein synthesis and cellular growth, which can be bad if we're focusing on cancer, bad cells. But if we're focusing on muscle health to stimulate muscle protein synthesis to get more muscle to increase our metabolism, well, we want mTOR. So there is that strategic balance between mTOR growth versus AMPK repair and recycling. And so we need to identify mTOR activation is essential for strength gains, lean mass, and recovery from resistance training. But overactivation can hinder longevity. So if we're constantly eating, if we're constantly exercising, if we're not having that on-off signal, this can impact our longevity. So we want to look at what do you need to do. So mitochondrial function as we age is a really important part. And we talked about this with Dr. Patel about testing your mitochondria health with MeScreen, combining this data with functional lab tests as an organic acids test, and then a potentially active and resting metabolism test to see, are your mitochondria healthy? Are they producing a lot of energy, clean energy, efficient energy? Are your oxidative stress levels optimal, or do you have excess reactive oxygen species that you need more antioxidant support? So we don't want excessive oxidative stress. We need to get that imbalance as well. Now, function of our mitochondria does decline with aging if we don't take action. So my point is, all these videos I'm doing, this, that, whatever, declines with aging. But that doesn't have to be the way it happens. We can take ownership of our health and avoid this decline with aging by doing things different. Chronic stress, toxins, sedentary behavior impact your mitochondrial health. So we can't control getting older, chronological age, but we can improve our biological age by managing our stress, reducing our toxic exposure, working on our liver detox pathways, and being more active. Exercise, sleep, nutrient density, and stress reduction all can help improve our mitochondrial function critical for energy, cognition, immune function, and generally, we're talking overall quality of life. So, finishing with oxidative stress. Here's a good chart. Antioxidant systems in our body help neutralize ROS. Think of SOS, reactive oxygen species. The role of mitochondria here, maintaining low oxidative stress. We want to support mitochondria health and contribute to longevity. Mitochondria, remember, are energy production and a major source of reactive oxygen species. So if you are exercising a lot and long distance as well as high intensity, using carbohydrates for fuel, you are going to create more, think of it, more exhaust fumes. You're creating more reactive oxygen species. Mitochondria are, of course, crucial for efficient energy production, measuring through testing of our oxidative stress, our reactive oxygen species. We are creating them, but we need to make sure we're getting rid of this excessive reactive oxygen species with our antioxidant system. Now we have what's called the NRF2 pathway that regulates antioxidant defense and enhances antioxidant capacity, decreases oxidative damage. And we have what we briefly went over, AMPK, that helps promote mitochondrial biogenesis and energy balance. Spelling error there. Proactive in helping energy, mitochondrial health. And then we have enhanced antioxidant capacity and energy efficiency by looking at how we're exercising, testing your performance on pneumonia metabolism testing. So we have oxidative stress and aging. So a big part, we said, not saying this is the new normal, but as we age, we have this imbalance between the reactive oxygen species and the body's antioxidant defense systems. While reactive oxygen species are a natural byproduct of cellular processes, their accumulation can damage DNA, proteins, lipids, and mitochondria. So really important part to focus on as you age is that we have decreased ability to neutralize these ROS. So we have more accumulation of oxidative damage. The free radical theory of aging, that oxidative damage to cells contributes to the gradual decline in bodily functions, impairing organ systems and increasing susceptibility to chronic diseases as cancer, cardiovascular disease, and neurodegenerative disorders. Aging also leads to reduction in the efficiency of antioxidant systems, making older individuals more susceptible to oxidative damage. So knowing this information, we can control this. We know this is going to happen as we age. So what can we do about it? Now, as an athlete, as we age, really important that we are increasing our reactive oxygen species production, ROS. During intense exercise and anaerobic activities, we're producing ROS as byproducts. And this can be impactful in the mitochondria. So as we age, exercise is beneficial to help muscle mass, cardiovascular health, maintaining flexibility, but it plays higher demands on the body to manage oxidative stress. So without efficient antioxidant systems, recovery, us aging athletes may experience faster muscle fatigue, reduced performance, and slower recovery times because of excess ROS production is outweighing the antioxidant pathways. So as we exercise, we need to do things differently as we age. Overtraining, insufficient recovery, and not supporting our antioxidant systems can make this oxidative stress load even worse and make a larger impact on your performance gains and health at a cellular level. So training in moderation and using specific recovery techniques can help us balance oxidative stress while maximizing the benefits of exercise. So mitochondria, as we age, are responsible for creating energy via oxidative phosphorylation, but they do produce ROS as a byproduct of this process. Mitochondria play a role in cellular metabolism and energy production, especially during exercise. But as we age and the mitochondria function declines, this leads to a reduction in energy production, ATP, and an increase in ROS generation. So this leads to muscle weakness, fatigue, cognitive decline, and overall energy depletion, which all can negatively impact our quality of life as we age. Remember, mitochondria dysfunction is a hallmark of aging. Mitochondria accumulate damage from oxidative stress, leading to a reduction in our ability to produce ATP energy. And this is a central factor in the aging process. Associated with diseases as neurodegeneration and frailty as we get older. Mitochondria biogenesis is something we want to look at, creating new and getting rid of the damaged ones we talked about. Autophagy, get rid of the old and bring in the new. But remember, as we can be fit and healthy as we age, but we need to think about being fit and healthy from the inside out at a cellular level. Because as we age, we need to understand what happens and what happens if we don't do something different. We can't expect the same results by doing the program we did 10, 20 years ago. We have to do a little bit more care to our body. AMPK pathway during exercise can increase mitochondria function and reduce oxidative damage, helping mitigate effects of aging on the muscle and metabolic health. So listening to Dr. Kyle interview we did on AMPK and using supplements as their phytonutrients that you can put in water and drink them, that can help activate AMPK, getting the right nutrients, but really looking at how you're exercising. So managing oxidative stress is crucial for longevity because high levels of oxidative damage can accelerate aging on onset of age-related diseases. For aging athletes, mitigating oxidative stress through targeted exercise, nutrition, and supplementation can promote longer, healthier lifespans with active and functional lifestyle. Oxidative stress management can also enhance quality of life, maintaining cognitive function, muscle mass, metabolic health, immune function. These are all essential for maintaining independence and vitality as we age. So again, regulating this system, the body uses enzymes and non-enzyme antioxidants to neutralize ROS. So you might have heard of SOD, superoxide dismutase, catalyst, and glutathione we've talked a lot about, which directly degrade ROS into less harmful molecules. Non-enzymic enzymes, antioxidants as vitamin C, E, and flavonoids play a role in scavenging these free radicals as well. Now, our mitochondria are the primary source of reactive oxygen species. During energy production, these electrons can leak through the electron transport chain, creating ROS. However, mitochondria have their own antioxidant defense systems, the mitochondria SOD, that can minimize damage. And then we have the NRF2 factor that regulates expression of antioxidant proteins. Under oxidative stress, NRF2 activates production of enzymes that counteract ROS, serving as cellular adaptation mechanism to oxidative stress. Autophagy is the process of which cells degrade and recycle damaged proteins and organelles. Autophagy specifically is a selective degradation of damaged mitochondria and reducing ROS generation, maintaining cellular health. So key strategies to manage your oxidative stress. We should be avoiding excess training volume, excess intensity, as overtraining can lead to a heightened oxidative stress and impair your recovery. Periodization, alternating between hard and easy training days and phases is key for balancing ROS production and recovery. Now, antioxidants as foods with vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10, NAC, NAC can also combat oxidative stress. Polyphenols from berries, green tea, dark chocolate, about 80% or more, have been shown to support mitochondria health. Recovery and rest are essential, and we often don't do enough active rest days. And also prioritizing our sleep hygiene routine and our recovery techniques is cold exposure, stretching, foam rolling. This all can help reduce all the cumulative effects of oxidative damage from our training. So you might think you're fit, but are you really healthy from the inside out at a cellular level? Mitochondria targeted nutrients is PQQ, alpha lipoic acid, and acetyl L-carnitine can promote mitochondria biogenesis, remember, creating new and enhancing production while reducing ROS. So adapting to the energy demands based on activity levels, stress, physiological conditions, looking at your AMPK pathways, activating, fueling correctly, and really adaptating. So summary chart here, exercising the right type for you. If it's HIIT, sit once or twice a week, zone 2, peak fat max training, this can all activate AMPK. AMPK activates mitochondria biogenesis, so creating new mitochondria. PG1 alpha creates new mitochondria. We need to activate PG1C alpha by activating AMPK. How do you activate AMPK? Nutrition, we talked about Avir Prim supplementation. I can send you the link, and how we exercise. But I guarantee you're probably training too hard or too easy. Most people are not doing zone 2 peak fat max, and they're not doing sprint interval training with the right recovery. They're doing zone 3. So as Stacy Simzo says, it's too easy to be hard and too hard to be easy. You're not doing different intensities. You're doing it all basically the same. Now, remember, next we need to get rid of the old mitochondria to make room for the new ones. And then we need strength training to keep this AMPK mTOR balance, long-term recovery and performance gains and longevity, quality of life. So let's next go into metabolism testing, but keep this idea here. And let's talk next about how do you figure this out? Where are you? And what do you need to work on? Let me know your questions and we'll continue on to metabolism testing.